Hey class, we're going to talk today about verb tenses. So you learned about verbs forever and ever ago. You know that we have past verbs, we have present verbs, we have future tense verbs. We have lots of different kinds. So what we're really going to focus on today is progressive tense. And so with progressive tense verbs, you basically have what we call participles. So think back for a minute about last year and when we learned about those types of verbs. Does anybody remember what a participle is? Okay, so hopefully you're thinking right now that it is a verb that ends in ing. So basically any ing verb is going to be known as a participle. And a participle is a progressive tense verb. So we have our past progressive, we have our present progressive, and then we have our future progressive. So you have a copy of this. Basically, all I'd like for you to do with this is to cut it out, glue it into your composition book, and that way you have reference to all of the different verb tenses. And so it's very basic. It just explains to you what that verb tense is, and it goes and gives you some examples of each one. So this is just a great reference to have. But for today, we're really going to be focusing on this last column over here with progressive verb tenses. So that leads us to the next sheet that you should have that looks like this. And so rather than have all those extra verb tenses on there that we really don't want to talk about today, this is just broken down into simply the participles. And so what I've done is given you definitions and examples for each of these different types. So we'll start with the simple past progressive. And so this is something that it's used to talk about an activity that was in progress at some point in the past. So this is something that happened yesterday, or it could have happened, 10 years ago. So then we lead into the simple present progressive. So present progressive can be something that is going on right now, but it's not going to last forever. It's simply temporary. And then the last one is going to be future progressive. So this verb tense is used to describe an event or an action that will occur at some point in the future. It hasn't already happened yet. It's not going on right now, but it's going to happen sometime in the future. So if we take the verb be, then to make it past progressive, we could say that I was being a jerk yesterday. We make it present, I could say I am being a jerk right now. And then if it's something that I know is going to happen in the future, well, I will be a jerk tomorrow. Same thing with run. Yesterday I was running. Today I am running. And then tomorrow I will be running again. And for eat, 10 years ago I was eating pizza. Today I am still eating pizza. And tomorrow, because it's my favorite food, I will be eating pizza all over again. What about smile? I was smiling a few minutes ago. Right now I am still smiling, or he or she is still smiling. And then when good things happen again later, we will be smiling all over again. So this is a very simple verb tense to follow. You just need to remember that it is all about the ing, the ing. That's what's so important here. So what I'm going to have you do right now is to look at each of these verbs that I've given to you, and I want you to change them so that they are then in the past progressive tense, in the present progressive tense, and in the future progressive tense. So you're going to go through each one. We'll just do a couple together just so you know what you're doing. So the first one is regurgitate, kind of like birds do when they're trying to feed their young. So let's say that I saw a bird on my porch yesterday, and that bird was regurgitating food for its babies. And just always remember that if it ends in an E and you're adding the ing, you're usually going to drop the E and just add the ing at the end. Okay, so we have that same bird today, and that bird is regurgitating food still. And then we look into the future, we know that the babies are still young. That bird is probably still going to be regurgitating food for them, so she will be regurgitating. Really notice that the only time that this verb, the helping verb, is going to change is if we're talking about yourself, like I or my or whatever, or we, or if you're talking about someone else in third person, like he or she or they. So that's the only time that this word is going to be something different. As far as the future progressive, I can't think of a time when it wouldn't be will be. I think that you're pretty safe always saying it's will be. Okay, so what about instruct? So let's say you're teaching your little brother or sister how to ride a bike. So yesterday you were instructing them on the bike basics. And today you are still instructing them. So they still haven't picked it up yet. And tomorrow, if they're really slow learners, well, you will still be instructing them again. So we'll be instructing. You got the hang of this, so take the last verbs, and again, all you have to do is change them into past progressive, present progressive, and future progressive. So this is all in chronological order. Just think about yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and you're going to be all good. All right, and that's about it for progressive tense verbs. Just remember the ing.